A bottom-tier hunter named Katagiri unexpectedly obtains a noisy, holy sword. Ever since mysterious gates connecting to other worlds appeared, humans who enter them to fight monsters are called hunters. Despite being weak, Katagiri somehow manages to defeat a monster. As he processes this unexpected success, a loud, commanding woman urges him to hurry up, go out there, and save the world. Katagiri complains about being exhausted and in his late 20s, frustrated by how demanding the sword's spirit is. The holy sword tells him that mastering its power won't be instant, he has to gradually draw it out through time and training. When he asks what the sword can actually do, she explains that right after choosing a wielder, her power can't be fully used yet, so he won't be able to do much until he grows into it. The sword spirit admits she doesn't actually know what abilities Katagiri will gain, her power adapts to the hero who wields her. She explains that past wielders all used her differently, some focused on swordsmanship, some used holy light and others developed martial arts. Each hero had a unique fighting style. Katagiri compares it to an RPG skill tree where he chooses which abilities to unlock, and the idea starts to make sense to him. Katagiri realizes that no matter what path he chooses, mastering the sword will depend on his own effort. The sword spirit urges him to train seriously, but he insists on taking things at his own pace. She excitedly pushes him to clear a gate right away, while he prefers doing occasional hunts just to rank up slowly and continue living his normal life with odd jobs. She's offended by how casually he plans to use her, calling it a disgrace. Katagiri uses his homemade carbonara as an example, saying that simple everyday pleasures, like cooking food the way he likes it, are important to him. He wants to treasure those small joys of life, not rush into danger non-stop. The sword spirit is confused at first but eventually listens, while he explains that this is why he's content with ranking up slowly. The sword spirit suddenly snaps, rejecting Katagiri's relaxed approach. She insists that since he's gained great power through her, he should be fighting immediately to protect peace. Katagiri is startled because she seemed to agree earlier. She becomes increasingly emotional and dramatic, while Katagiri can only react with exasperation as she pressures him to take up the heroic role right away. Katagiri admits that if being a hero were that easy, he wouldn't be struggling so much. As he's eating, his phone alerts him to a new request. He casually tells the sword spirit they can go after he finishes his meal. The scene ends with the gate that they're presumably heading toward. Katagiri and the sword spirit enter a rank C forest gate, where a dangerous saber-toothed tiger monster roams nearby. Despite the threat, Katagiri is focused on his actual mission, a simple rank F herb gathering request. The sword spirit urges him to fight the monster, but he ignores it and sticks to picking herbs. Katagiri vents that he hates being pressured and still hasn't forgiven the sword spirit for breaking his game console. She insists there's no time for such trivial things because a great crisis is approaching, one so serious that she descended to his side to stop it. But when Katagiri asks what the crisis actually is or when it will happen, she admits she has no idea, leaving him even more exasperated. The sword spirit insists that Katagiri must master her power before the coming crisis, but he fires back that she doesn't actually know anything concrete. He sticks to his stance. His job here is herb gathering, not monster hunting, and he refuses to do extra work meant for other hunters. As he walks away, she suddenly wonders if the real reason he's avoiding fighting is because he's actually scared. Katagiri admits honestly that yes, he is scared. Facing a powerful monster like the saber-toothed tiger is terrifying, and he's not even confident he could defeat something that strong. But then he clarifies that fear isn't the real reason he avoids fighting, hinting that there's more to his attitude than simple cowardice. The sword spirit watches him silently, surprised by his sincerity. The sword spirit quietly acknowledges her part in their argument and says she should apologize, but then declares she can't wait for Katagiri to move at his slow pace. Suddenly, an attack strikes near Katagiri, shocking him. The saber-toothed tiger appears, charging in with a ferocious leap, launching the battle before Katagiri is ready. The saber-toothed tiger charges at full speed as the sword spirit hurls herself, now in sword form, straight toward Katagiri. She screams for him to grab her and strike down the enemy immediately. Katagiri panics, completely unprepared, as the monster closes in for a lethal attack. Katagiri refuses to grab the holy sword, realizing that relying on it won't change anything about his situation or growth. Instead, he decides to face the saber-toothed tiger on his own terms. Gripping only a wooden stick, he charges forward with determination, shouting that he'll take the monster down by himself. The sword spirit is shocked by his unexpected resolve. The sword spirit panics, insisting Katagiri doesn't have the strength to fight the monster alone. But he yells at her to be quiet and watch, charging recklessly at the saber-toothed tiger with just his stick. She recognizes his determination but also how dangerous and foolish the attempt is. The tiger attacks, sending Katagiri crashing to the ground as the fight intensifies. Katagiri struggles to his feet, realizing just how massive and overwhelming the saber-toothed tiger is up close. Despite his fear, he insists he has no choice but to fight. The monster charges with explosive force, smashing the ground and sending shockwaves everywhere as Katagiri desperately tries to dodge, screaming in terror. Katagiri barely survives another devastating strike from the saber-toothed tiger, stunned by its overwhelming power. Instead of fighting back, he desperately crawls through the forest searching for it, something important for his plan. After frantic searching and near misses, he finally spots what he's been looking for and shouts, "Found it." Katagiri grabs a small shovel and lures the saber-toothed tiger toward him. The monster zeroes in and charges at full speed. Katagiri braces himself, swinging with everything he has, but the sheer force of the tiger's attack overwhelms him, sending him flying violently through the air. Katagiri's plan is revealed. He dug up a mandrake, a plant that releases a powerful, damaging shriek when uprooted. As the mandrake screams, the sound blasts through the battlefield, hurting both him and the saber-toothed tiger. The monster reels in agony, and Katagiri endures the pain just long enough to launch an attack while the beast is disoriented. Katagiri seizes the opening created by the mandrake's shriek. He leaps in, shouting that this is his chance, and slams his shovel down toward the saber-toothed tiger. But before he can land a decisive blow, the monster snaps back faster than expected and counterattacks, sending Katagiri flying once again. Katagiri, beaten and exhausted, realizes bitterly that he never had any chance of winning with just a shovel. He questions why he's even trying to fight such a monster alone when he knew from the start he couldn't win. As he hesitates in despair, the saber-toothed tiger lunges at him with its jaws wide open, while the sword spirit screams for him to look out. Just as the saber-toothed tiger is about to kill Katagiri, a sudden, powerful slash cuts across the battlefield. The monster is violently knocked back, surprised and hurt by the unexpected attack. The sword spirit screams Katagiri's name in fear, while the source of the slash remains unseen for a moment, implying someone else has intervened. Katagiri breaks down emotionally, yelling that he's confused and doesn't understand what the sword spirit wants from him. He's overwhelmed. One moment he's a bottom-tier, 28-year-old hunter doing odd jobs, and the next he's being told to wield a holy sword and save the world. He admits he's terrified of monsters, but even more than that, he feels completely unprepared and unworthy. He wonders if the sword choosing him was a mistake or some kind of mix-up, questioning why someone like Katagiri breaks down and admits the real reason behind his actions: he's terrified of failing again. That fear made him try to face the saber-toothed tiger alone, because if he couldn't beat even one monster by himself, he felt he didn't deserve to wield the holy sword or fight beside her at all. The sword spirit finally understands his struggle, realizing he wasn't rejecting her power, he was rejecting himself, convinced he wasn't worthy. The sword spirit opens up, admitting she originally doubted whether someone as lazy and unambitious as Katagiri could really save the world. But she realized something important: whenever someone needed help, he acted without hesitation, even if it made no logical sense. His heart naturally leans toward helping others. She tells him no one is perfect and reassures him that no matter how many times he fails, she will stay by his side. The sword spirit tells Katagiri that she truly believes he can save the world. She explains that as people get older, they tend to overthink everything and get stuck in fear and doubt, just like he has. But instead of brooding over mistakes or uncertainties, she urges him to act first and think later, trusting his instincts. Katagiri slowly begins to stand, taking in her words. Katagiri finally stands tall, apologizes, and reaches out for the holy sword, asking her to lend him her strength. The sword spirit smiles warmly, saying it took him long enough. Meanwhile, the saber-toothed tiger watches warily as the real fight is about to begin. Katagiri now fights with renewed confidence and sharper instinct. He dodges a powerful strike from the saber-toothed tiger with impressive reflexes, sliding across the ground while gripping the holy sword. The sword spirit shouts for him to create an opening, and Katagiri responds with a grin, saying she doesn't need to tell him twice, he's fully ready to fight. Katagiri launches into action with the holy sword in hand. He leaps high as the saber-toothed tiger charges, narrowly dodging its ferocious strike. With a powerful shout, he swings the sword, unleashing a massive energy slash that tears through trees and sends the tiger flying. It's his first true display of the sword's power, and the turning point of the fight. Katagiri presses the attack, unleashing another powerful slash as the saber-toothed tiger reels in panic from the previous blow. The sword spirit shouts for him to strike now, and he charges forward with full force, ready to deliver the finishing blow. Katagiri channels the holy sword's power and launches a massive finishing attack. With a battle cry of "Holy Sword! Holy Strike!" he brings the blade down in a brilliant, explosive slash aimed directly at the saber-toothed tiger. It's the decisive moment of the fight, delivering the full might of the sword's sacred power. The holy strike lands with overwhelming force, obliterating the saber-toothed tiger in a massive explosion of light and impact. Once the dust settles, Katagiri is exhausted, leaning on the sword. The sword spirit comments that his fighting style is a complete mess and suggests they should find a better way to fight. Katagiri bluntly tells her to shut up as they both catch their breath, signaling a return to their usual bickering dynamic after the intense battle. Katagiri, now determined and motivated, promises to learn how to use the holy sword properly and climb the hunter ranks in his own way, as fast as he can. The sword spirit beams with pride. A montage shows the two of them gradually defeating weaker monsters together as they grow stronger. When reporting the herb-gathering request, Katagiri simply claims the monster was already defeated, and gets away with it, ending the chapter on a humorous note. Katagiri happily celebrates ranking up to E rank, finally escaping the lowest tier. With the money he earned from his jobs, he excitedly buys himself a new game console, replacing the one the sword spirit broke earlier. He walks home beaming, proud of his progress both as a hunter and in reclaiming a small joy in his life. Katagiri happily heads home with his new console and games, excited to spend the night gaming. The sword spirit allows him to enjoy his entertainment, though he insists he doesn't need her permission. As he celebrates his small victory and plans an all-nighter, a mysterious figure suddenly appears behind him, saying, "Found you." The scene ends with an ominous hint that trouble is approaching. A mysterious, hooded girl suddenly drops from above, landing hard enough to shatter the pavement in front of Katagiri. She stands up, fixes her gaze on him, and calls him wielder of the holy sword. Katagiri freezes, confused and startled, as the ominous new encounter begins. The mysterious girl steps forward, revealing her face and drawing two curved blades. With a cold, emotionless expression, she asks Katagiri, "Any last words?" The chapter ends on a tense cliffhanger as she prepares to attack, setting the stage for the next confrontation.